Hello showmates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to cut and also how to sew this beautiful tear gown. So this was my recreation, and this gown can be styled in two ways. So this is the first way I styled it with a belt. Then you can remove the belt if you don't want the belt. So if this is something you're interested in, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get started. Welcome back guys. So for this tutorial you'll be needing about 4 yards of Ankara, though I used 3 yards. That was why mine wasn't full, but if you want it full you will need 4 yards. So let's draw the pattern for the yoke part of this dress. So now this is my pattern, and this length here is my armhole length, while the length below is my bust length. So the length of this yoke should be in between your armhole and your bust length, so it should be in between. So my own armhole length was 7.5, while my bust length was 9.5. So in between 7.5 and 9.5 is 8.5. So that is why I'm using 8.5. So just make a point over there, then you roll a line across. Yes. So now you measure your bust measurement divided by 4. Then you add ease allowance of 1 inch. So I'm adding ease allowance of 1 inch, then I'll just connect it to my armhole. So that was the same thing I measured at this armhole area. So for the sewing allowance, I'll be adding that on the fabric, not on the pattern. So let me use my marker to roll this out so that it can be clear. So now let's measure the neckline. So for the front neckline I'll be using 3 inches, while for the back I will be using 1.5, and for the wideness of this neckline I'm using 3. If you notice, the neckline is a very small neckline, so that is why I'm using 3 by 1.5 for the back and 3 by 3 for the front. So for this pattern I'm drafting both the front and the back on it, but you know, when we want to cut the back we'll be adding our zipper allowance, so just stay tuned so you can see what I'm doing. So this is the back neckline and this is the front neckline. So let's cut this out and transfer it to our fabric. So before we transfer this to our fabric, let's do a little calculation to know the length of our 3 tiered layers. So I'm just sketching this dress. So depending on the length you want to use, for me I want to use length 40 because I want it a little bit long, and my yoke part is 8.5. So 40 minus 8.5, so I have 31.5. So that 31.5 I will divide it equally into 3, and 31.5 divided by 3 is 10.5 each. So each of the layer now will be 10.5, 10.5, 10.5. I hope you understand. So if you don't understand, let's do another measurement. So let's just draw a sketch of the gown. Then for this we'll be using 38 inches length. So let's assume the yoke is 8 after measuring. So 38 minus 8 is 30. So 30 divided by 3, that's 10 each. So let's assume we are using 42 also. So 42, and the yoke is 9 inches. So 9 inches, 42 minus 9 inches, that's like 33 inches. So you just divide the 33 inches into 3 equally. So we have 11. So now transferring the pattern to my fabric, this is what we have for the back. So I added zipper allowance and sewing allowance at the upper and lower part. So this is the front, and I added the joining allowance for the side and also the lower and the upper parts. And I also cut out the lining, but if you have enough fabric you can just cut 2 of this fabric, but if you don't have enough you can just use the lining for this. So this is the layers I cut out. So I cut out 6. Like I said, mine wasn't full enough. If you want yours full you can add more to the length. So what I'll be doing is, so just like the way I cut out this my Ankara, the layered, you know I told you it is 6, so I'll be using 1.5 for the upper parts, I'll be using 2 for the middle part, and 2.5 for the lower part for the last layer. So if you have more fabric, like I said, you can increase yours. But I didn't have enough fabric. It was just 3 yards I was working with. That was why I did mine like that. So now let's draft the sleeve. So for the sleeve, I'll just be using a free hand to draft my sleeves. So after doing my curve, then I will just go ahead and measure my round measurement divided by 2 and the sewing allowance by the side. So I will add it, and at this lower part I will increase it. So I use 7 at this upper part. So for this lower part I'm using 10. So just make sure it is bigger than the upper part. You will add elastic at the edge so it can be full. So you have to increase this. So after you are done, just make sure you measure the opening there so that you can be sure it is enough. So for the length, I'm using length 19, but if you have more fabric you can increase it. If you want your length, the sleeve length to be longer than mine, you can increase it, but I don't want it long, that's why I'm using 19. So this is the yoke part, so let's join. So I'll just go ahead and join the side and the neckline area. So I'll do that for both the front and the back. Then after joining, this is what we have. So for the back here, if you have a zipper you can use a zipper, but for me I'm using a button. So I'll just close some part of this. So after joining the sides together, so this is what I have. So this is the layers. So I'll just make gathers on each one of them. So after making gathers, what I will do is to join them together according to their size, according to their length. Then after that I'll join them by the side just to make something like a skirt. So after joining, this is the back area, so I'll just fix it towards the yoke, the back of the yoke too. Then I'll just sew it round. So I'll just sew it round. So after sewing round, this is what it looks like. So the next thing to do is to fix our sleeve at this point. So this is the sleeve. I'll go ahead and just make a pipe in here, just small, to accommodate my elastic. Then after that I'll fix the elastic. So after fixing the elastic, this is what I have. So this is what my sleeve look like. Then I'll fix it to the dress. So I fix one part, so I'll just go ahead and fix the second part. So after fixing, this is what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. So I just went ahead to also hem the lower part of this gown. So I hemmed it. Then the next thing I did was to put a button at the back. So I put this small piece of Ankara there just to hold the button, just the normal way. So that was just what I did at this part. Like I said, if you have a zipper you can put a zipper since there is allowance at that area. So this is my belt. So if I want to make it smart, I'll just use this belt to hold it down, and if I want it free I'll just wear it like that. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.